So I want to do some pictures of wet chemistry demonstration that I did in class, working with actual fluids. So we've got a Gulf of Mexico crude oil. It's actually from Hess's Ballpate platform, and some produced water from their inlet separator. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the emulsion treating chemicals and the water treating chemicals that the platform is currently using online, mix them and see what happens. So this is the MSDS from Nalco's emulsion breaker, and you can see that it's mainly a naphtha or some type of gasoline that's the carrier, and some other stuff. Okay, and you add that, it breaks the surface tension of the water and resolves the emulsion. Water clarifier, and you can see it's got ammonium chloride and acetic acid, and those are used in water clarifying chemicals, but it's a fairly different chemistry. This is about 25% water. That's the water clarifier, and that's the emulsion breaker, and that's the actual crude oil. We'll hit it with a shot of each of these, shake it up, and see what happens. And this is not a good picture, but it looks exactly like chocolate milk. There's no granularity to it. It's completely mixed. There's zero water breakout. It's a stable emulsion. And this is looking at it 24 hours later, and nothing's happened. So what happens after you've mixed these two together in industry? What we do is we send them to a heater treater in class, but we've got a coffee machine. I stick it in a cup of hot water for tea, and we'll let it sit there for a couple of minutes. And this does not take very long. This happens within the first minute. And you can see that, yeah, you did get, the heater treater did what it was supposed to do, because it was homogeneous chocolate milk before. So you've got 50% resolution of the oil into clean oil. But the other thing that happened is it made this stuff. And this is exactly what an emulsion looks like. So if you remember, we had about this much water to start. This much of the oil is still an emulsion. And that's slowly the consequence of this design error of mixing fluids that have contacted both of these chemicals. And that's a real stable emulsion. And we'll take a trip to Brazil in a little bit, and I'll show you how that can cause a problem. The other thing you don't want to do is ever mix your lube oils offshore, because your lube oils have polymers, and that's how they become multi-vis. And polymers, if you get an opportunity to work on a polymer flood, I'd go work on something else, because polymers make really stable emulsions. So we'll take this and then also talk about dispersants. Dispersants are just soap, and this actually is Dove that they use to clean birds after an oil spill. I was upset with the discussion during Macondo about the BPs putting in dispersants, so they're adding soap. Okay, is that good or bad? We can debate that, but where does all the soap from all the dishwashers and all the laundry end up in? For the United States along the Mississippi River, it ends up in the Gulf of Mexico. Anyway, it's soap. And the idea is to disperse it into smaller droplets, so it's less of an effect. And so we've added pretties, and then we're going to add a small amount of oil. Shake them up. And after 20 minutes, you can see that the 30 weight oil caused a major problem. The dispersant's starting to disperse the oil within the water column. And after 3 hours, it's done an even better job. And you're just starting to get some breakout after 3 hours on the motor oil. So don't any of these into your production system. You're going to have a big problem. Just either move them forward into the dry oil tank, or if you want to send them out in cutting boxes, but do not put them in your main production stream at the front end of the plant, because you are going to make a mess. Same solids. So what's the difference between fine solids and coarse solids? So before mixing, fine is on the left. After 10 minutes, you can see the coarse solids separated, but the fine solids made a very, very nice emulsion. So you have to keep solids out of your production train. Putting solids back in the production train is going to create another mess.